Alright, welcome to the Put the Power Down video, and in this video I am driving the Volvo S60 R, and this car is definitely pretty fast, and I didn't let the clutch out far enough. This car, now speaking about the clutch, it actually grabs pretty high up there, and just first off impressions, our initial impression from just sitting in this car, it definitely is a pretty decent car. Being from 2004, it definitely does have, an older characteristics. The engine definitely builds up higher up, and this is actually not a 4-cylinder but a 5-cylinder. The owner of this car tells me that the car basically it's an inline 5, which I find pretty weird in my personal opinion. Just hearing a car with 5 cylinders is not an even number, but just getting on the power here, just really tons of power with the exhaust note that you have right here. Hearing the actual spooling of this definitely sounds cool. Go ahead and take this turn here, and I did hear some tire squealing here. Now it is an all-wheel drive system, but the all-wheel drive system in the car, the owner was explaining to me earlier, and you guys will actually meet the owner here in a second. His name is George. Shout out to him for letting me drive his car. But he was explaining to me it's basically 4-wheel drive, or excuse me, 2-wheel drive, and then if it detects slippage, it becomes 4-wheel drive. So basically, I'm dealing with a front-wheel drive vehicle for the most part, all the time. It's kind of like the Dodge Charger's all-wheel drive system and stuff like that. If you have an all-wheel drive Charger, you know what I'm talking about. Their systems basically are front-wheel drive for the most part until they detect slippage, and then the 4-wheel drive system or all-wheel drive system will go ahead and kick in. But just honestly a decent car from my just initial impressions. I'm in a higher gear right now, 5th gear, doing around 45 miles an hour. I could easily go into 6th right here, and she gets quiet. I was talking to the owner earlier. He doesn't really know exactly what exhaust was on the car or is on the car right now. He just kind of bought it that way, but it definitely does sound good, and I really do like this car, honestly. I'm gonna go ahead and take some more turns here to give you guys another impression about the handling. And like I said earlier, I did hear the tires squealing, and it definitely is. It really did shoot out of that turn right there. Definitely did rotate through the turns really nice. Now the seats that I'm sitting in, being from 2004, and this being more of a performance sedan, so basically being more of a vehicle that you can daily drive, probably for someone who's a business guy and also wants to have fun with this vehicle, whatnot. They are on the looser side. Now they're nowhere near as what I was driving earlier, the Dodge Charger. You guys will probably see that review before you see this one, but that definitely does have wider seats. But the seats are kind of on the wider side, but they still do hold you in a pretty decent good amount. I'm gonna go ahead and get on the power again one more time. Just like I said, sounds amazing. Alright, so we are now back in the car with the owner of the car. His name is George, and he's basically just going to go ahead and give us some more information about the car. The reason why I kind of did the reviews this way is to honestly give you guys a better idea of what the car can do. I mean, in my opinion, people can only hit so many points about a car for driving it, whether it be an hour or 2 hours. You can only really get so much. But once you own a car, spend time with a car for about a year or two, or a couple of months at least, you really know, or you basically learn more about the car, and you can provide more information. So I'm going to go ahead and let him give you guys basically a more in-depth talk around the car. So go ahead and just start off with how you got the car, I guess.
Alright, hey guys, I'm George, and so I got this car a little over a year ago. There was a shop down in South Carolina called Kinetech Motorworks, and they're a big European kind of style shop, and I bought it from a guy that worked there. It's a 2004 Volvo S60 R. From the factory, it's got about 300 brake horsepower and about 290, 295 foot-pounds of torque. It's all-wheel drive, like Dan said earlier in the video, but it's mainly front-wheel drive, and the all-wheel drive will kick in after. Some other things just about it being the R version, it's got a nicer trim package on the inside. It's got bigger Brembo brakes on the front and the back.
So definitely, just starting about I guess, as far as me personally, I've only seen 2 of these cars, his, and there's one at my school. And other than that, I mean, if you want to go ahead and tell us about the rarity of this car, I guess, because I would be very surprised if someone watching this video knows what this thing is.
Yeah, so I guess the general, in this car's terms, misconception about Volvo is it's just kind of like your old grandma driving around, but for this, it's decently quick for 2004 model, and I had to do a pretty good amount of searching to find this in the 6-speed manual. And once I got the car and kind of joined some Facebook groups, I found out they're easier to find through that, but on Craigslist and just your general like cars.com and those type sites, it was pretty difficult to find. I searched for probably 4 or 5 months before I actually found this specific one that was worth anything and low enough miles to be worth buying it.
Go ahead and give another roll on. So go ahead and tell me more about basically what you've done to the car.
Alright, so well, when I got the car, I had the exhaust with it, and the guy didn't really tell me much about that. From what I can tell, it seems like it was just straight pipe from the cat and some sort of custom work. I've put E-Bach lowering springs on it. It has a boost controller. What else? I have a short shifter installed.
Definitely feel that.
One other thing about the car that comes with it that I enjoy personally, it's got active chassis, which basically just means the struts have an electronic sensor in which they can be adjusted, and it has 3 modes. It's got comfort, sport, and advanced. So sport's just the generic kind of driving around. Comfort is really like wavy, kind of makes it feel like a Cadillac kind of thing. And then advanced really tightens up the struts, and you can feel every bump, but for getting around those turns and really getting on it, it's nice. In the future, I guess, I'm gonna have to get new tires soon. You've heard the screeching earlier,
Yeah.
so I knew that was gonna have to happen. Hopefully new wheels farther down the road, just for the look of them. Performance-wise, I'd like to get a nicer intercooler, because the intercooler that comes in this car, it works for the horsepower and the power that it makes off the factory, but as soon as you start wanting to do anything else to it, you really gotta upgrade the intercooler to help out.
Yeah.
After the intercooler, I have an aftermarket intake on it. It's just basically a box that allows more airflow, and it's a wider Canon filter.
And just to give you guys a comparison, I'm gonna go on a limb here and say it, but I really feel like if I were to compare this car to one, or give it, I guess, a car that you can match up to, the Evo that I drove earlier this summer, I feel like this could easily compete with that, especially if, you know, it got a tune or a bigger turbo, easily probably as fast, or, you know, faster, depending on where you go, but definitely, this is something that reminds me of kind of that Evo.
Yeah, it definitely has more top-end power. So from the starts and the digs, not really the best, but once you're getting up there, 3rd and 4th, about the power band around there is really nice.
Yeah.
And the turbo, after the lag, once it kicks in, it feels pretty good.
Like I said, guys, definitely an interesting car here. Definitely a car, with it being from 2004, like I've already said, can easily compete with newer cars that are out today. There's so much power. Like I said, I mean, I would go on a limb here and say that it can compete with the Evo that I drove earlier this summer pretty easily, or be faster, stuff like that. But gonna go ahead and end the video here. If you like these videos, please hit the like button, subscribe for new content, hit the bell notification, that way you know when I post. Follow me on Snapchat, Dan the Light Man. I know that sounds weird. Instagram, Put the Power Down, and I'll catch you guys in another video.